This is the age of digital transformation, and you want to be making an impact in it, right? But how and where do you begin? EXIN has refreshed what a career path can look like, can do for you, giving flexibility, choice, and guidance along the way. Imagine choice. Choice and a team of experts to help you as you embark on your adventure. Introducing the Digital Service Manager Career Path, the DSM. The amazing thing is that this career path is designed for people in all different spots on their adventure. Maybe you already have an idea of where you're headed. You have a job you love, but want to boost it to the next level. Perhaps you've got a certification, but feel like you need something more. Or maybe, just maybe, you're looking for a certification kickstart and are ready to begin now. No expectations, just options. EXIN's latest career path, the Digital Service Manager, is designed with you in mind. You choose your own adventure, and we guide you along the journey. Not bad, right? Meet 3 experts from around the globe that will share with you their different perspectives of our DSM career path: transformation, integration, and optimization. As you listen to them, think about your perspective. What do you need to succeed, and what is the right way to make an impact in the age of digital transformation in the area of digital service management? Why is digital service management so significant for the future? 3 experts, 3 perspectives, 3 adventures. Come on, let's hear it from our global experts.
My name is Dick Theisens. I'm the CEO of the LSSA, the Lean Six Sigma Academy, which is one of the scheme owners of EXIN. Although I studied mechanical engineering, my first job was in IT. I had a company in developing systems for providing music and bars and restaurants. So we used a lot of software and IT to make this system. It was a breakthrough in 1995. Later on, I used data a lot in my professional field of work with using this data to support companies to develop their processes by analyzing this data and improving their processes and quality. And you see this coming up more and more. Data gets more and more important. Systems and software becomes more and more important to support companies to improve their processes. The world is changing, things are changing. Our phones of today are not the same phones as they were 20 years ago. The same applies for cars, but also services, they change. So we have to change as well. The people have to change, the processes we use to produce cars and phones, and also our service processes needs to change. So lean transformation and digital transformation is very important part of that. So you need to keep in mind, it's not only about techniques and processes. It's also very important how the people working in an organization or a company are involved in this process of continuous improvement. So developing people is also something we pay a lot of attention to. Although I studied mechanical engineering, I did not learn the tools and techniques I know now, which are part of the Lean and Six Sigma toolbox. So Lean and Six Sigma provides very strong tools to solve problems for continuous improvement and quality management. And they help me a lot to help companies and organizations to improve their processes and quality. So I worked in many different sectors. I worked in industry, in the automotive sector, but also in healthcare and IT. So it's very different sectors. And the strength of Lean and Six Sigma is that you can use these techniques and tools in all these different sectors. So for instance, I improved the quality of sensors in a braking system of a car, but I also applied these techniques and tools to improve the vaccination process of COVID-19 all over the Netherlands. So you can use these techniques everywhere. That's the importance and the strength of these techniques and approach. I like to share my knowledge and expertise very broad. but I'm living in the Netherlands. I can do it only here. Together with EXIN, we have the possibility to share these techniques that we have. We put in our books and our exams all over the world. And that's the strength of EXIN. EXIN can do this for us. Our personal and business values is about guiding and leading. So we want to guide people how to improve, how to change, how to develop themselves and their processes. I think these two principles are similar very much for the LSSA and for EXIN. So guiding and leading, we both have that as a core value.
My name's Claire Agutter and I'm the director and founder at ITSM Zone, which is a service management e-learning business, and Scopism, which is the company that brought the SIAM body of knowledge to the market. I didn't choose to work in the digital service field so much as fall into the digital service field, which I think is true for many people in our industry. There aren't really defined career paths, or there haven't been until quite recently, and it's one of the areas that EXIN are working in. I came from customer service and retail, and many of the skills that I learnt in those roles have been hugely beneficial for me working in service management, because bringing that focus on the customer experience, allowed me to pick up the technical knowledge that I needed along the way in order to deliver better outcomes. But once I landed in the digital space, I knew this was where I wanted to be, because the rate of change, how much you have to continually learn, that really suits me as an individual. I love that fast-paced environment, and also just the fact that the things we do make things better. Technology makes the workplace better, it can make society better. It's just a phenomenal space to be in, because the things that we do deliver these amazing results. The pivotal moment, I think, for me in my sort of service management digital career was almost 20 years ago now, and I was working on an IT help desk for a UK government body, and they sent me on the ITIL version 2 foundation course. So I knew a little bit about help desk, I knew a little bit about customer experience, trying to help people resolve these problems. But going onto that course and learning about the fundamentals of service management was genuinely career changing, I suppose life changing for me, because it's brought me to where I am today. And it was 3 days in a classroom. I remember running back to the office and I think annoying everyone, we need a configuration management database, why aren't we doing change management properly? But it really did open my eyes to the fact that small changes could deliver big results. We've seen so much change in the service management space. We've got SIAM, VeriSM, DevOps, BRM. It's a more complex environment, but everything, if we look at it, points to the same goal, which is how do we make this work for our customers? The integration path for service management is really, really important, because nothing like that exists at the moment. And at Scopism we do the Global SIAM survey once a year, and one of the things that we ask people is about the training that they have access to, about their roles. And what we're seeing is that so many organisations have no training plans in place for SIAM, or if they do, it's kind of informal internal education sessions, which do have their place, but there isn't that way for people to actually build a career in the integration space. And again, with the job titles, we see no consistency. There's no concept of coming in at a junior level and then progressing to a certain role and then on and on. We mainly see sort of very senior people who are in that integration space. So for me, the value that comes here is giving people a path to follow, so that if you aspire to work in this space, if you see value in this particular area of digital, you have a path that you can take from the beginning of your career. What I see with the customers that I work with is the real benefits they have from adopting a SIAM approach. Much less headache, much less hassle in terms of supplier management, and much better value, much more chance to innovate and build these supplier relationships. Looking at how service management needs to evolve for the digital age. So rather than thinking about service management from the perspective of the IT department, how do we build a digital business? What capabilities do we need? How do we structure ourselves if we accept that technology is a capability that runs through every single facet, every function, every department within the organisation? I think working in digital, one of the main ways it's enhanced my life is it's allowed me to set up a business, and I think that's one of the amazing things about the internet is anyone can set up a business now. And we started with the e-learning business, and our first customer was somebody in America. We'll never meet them, we don't interact with them because it's e-learning that we sell. But from day one, we've been a global business, and that's fantastic. As employers, we should be encouraging our staff to be flexible because they'll have skills that we have no idea, potential that they can realise. And as individuals, so important to adopt this attitude of lifelong learning. I really value the relationship that we have with EXIN, both through the training organisation and through Scopism with the strategic partnership around the SIAM exams. EXIN are very much quality focused, which is very much a value that we share in wanting to do everything to bring real value to the community. But they're also able to act at pace, so they balance that need for agility with quality products, and I think that's one of the things that means that we work well together, is that we're always focused on producing high quality content, things like the SIAM body of knowledge, and then knowing that we've got an exam partner that shares the same values is really, really important with us for us as an organisation. So I think it's a relationship that works in that we bring the subject matter expertise, EXIN brings the education expertise, and what we deliver together is helping people in the service management community develop in their careers.
So my name is Johan Botha. I'm the Chief Examiner for the Digital Transformation and Agile portfolio in EXIN. In the late 90s, I was operations director for an outsourced service provider, and we looked for ways to provide better services to customers, and I stumbled across IT service management. And at the same time, I also started getting involved in Lean and one of the forerunners of Agile. So as they say, the rest is history. It's really about organizations transforming and being able to operate in a new environment with a new way of thinking, different headspace. I've been the service manager for most of my life, and lately, as I explained before, it's really about being able to operate and provide good services to customers in a digital age, and that means that organizations needs to change and behave differently. And to some extent, I also think that for me, it's a moral imperative. The reason why I say it's a moral imperative, I'm not being facetious when I say that, is organizations that don't transform will be left behind. And if you can imagine the social consequence of organizations failing, digital service management matters for me because it's about helping organizations to achieve sustainability and longevity. And I'm not being melodramatic when I say, organizations have got two options. They can either adapt or they can die. And that's the reality. Organizations who don't develop the ability to function in a digital age will have no place in future business landscape. And that's quite sad for me. So it brings me back to this moral imperative that I need to do what I can to help organizations survive in the digital age. VeriSM was born out of service management in a traditional IT space. And the challenge was to develop a set of guidance, enterprise guidance, for organizations to use on their transformational journey. And that's what we tried to do when we wrote VeriSM Unwrapped and Applied, is really to focus on practical guidance and make it easy to apply for organizations. But you must remember that VeriSM is an approach. It's not a method. We don't dictate what you do. So part of it is actually educating yourself or educating the management of your organization to be able to not only act differently but think differently. Yeah, that's actually a good question. I love helping people and making a difference. So a career in digital transformation or a career as a digital service manager is just a means of being able to do that. So it means that I can contribute to making the world a better place, the workplace a better place, and a more meaningful place for people to work. And I think that matters. I love what I do because what I do matters. Now it sounds very corny. But I genuinely believe that a life well lived is a life in service to others. And looking back on my career, that's my calling. But the choices you make actually determines where you'll end up and where you are. And you've got a choice to become what you want to be. The great thing for me about the service management community when I started was that it was just that, a community. But then everything started to become so commercialized that we lost our heart and we lost that sense of community. When I became involved in the VeriSM project, it was like those early days all over again for me. A community of people who care about what they do and also care about one another. And that's the thing that I like most about EXIN. For me, it's a family. Yes, I know and I understand that we all need to make a buck. But we also need to make a difference. I'm part of the EXIN family because this is where I can do both.
Interested in discovering if one of the 3 DSM career path perspectives is for you? Reach out to us and find out how to get started. EXIN has been focused on integrity and quality of offering for nearly 40 years. The DSM career path is the result of working with our professionals, training partners, and corporate partners to really listen to what's needed. Digital transformation with a futuristic impact. The opportunity to improve your career, boost organizational performance, and improve your life. Imagine having a career path that gives you flexibility, not a straight line, but opportunity, a chance for change, and helps you think about what's coming. It can start today with a single certification that's worth getting. Choose your own adventure and let us join you on the ride. EXIN, certified for what's next.